I'm going to change this Givi bag with magnets. I'm going to convert it to a Tanklock system from Givi. Let's do it step by step. What we have to obviously remove the magnets. I shall take off the extra straps that I've put on, and we need to put a base plate on to secure the Givi Tanklock system to the bag. With a very sharp modelling knife, we're going to cut carefully around this protection. I've already done that, so let's take that away. Okay, so that's been carefully cut. Next we need to carefully cut away these areas where the magnets are kept, which will then give me a nice clear area to fix the ABS plate. I've ordered an ABS plastic 5mm thick, which will be secured here, and then the Givi adapter plate quick lock goes onto that ABS plate. Next we need to cut away these magnet areas, little sacks with magnets, so we'll do that next. Two down, two to go. So there we go. These two bottom hooks have gone. So next we need to secure the base plate on here. I've purchased a piece of ABS plastic board. You can see there. Got it off of Amazon for about €10. 5mm thick. It's about 20 by 30. It's bigger than I need, and you can already see that I've traced around what I want to do. We have to cut around here now, make the 4 holes, and then this will fix in there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get it up nicely. Because I'm leaving these two on the top, I need to cut this piece out so that it comes in between, it sits nice and flat. So that'll come up there, and then this will fix on here with some screws with large washers on the other side, and I'll hold it all together. I'm going to put some Evo stick or some sort of glue to secure the textile of the bag to the back of the board. So we're going to cut into that, guys. You can see the marks I've made. I think there you can see that quite clearly there. That's my centre. These are my 4 holes, and this is where I'm going to cut around. So I've adapted an old small metal saw and put in a fret saw blade in so we can cut through that. So we're going to start onto that. Let's see. So it's making a nice clean cut. So I'll get this cut out and come back to you. A little bit more. So there we have our base plate. Now the reason I'm using a base plate is if we put this just there, we're not going to be able to get a hand under there to undo the lock. It's going to be caught with the tissue. So by placing that there, it's going to be flat. It's going to give me the space I need to get in there and unlock the tank lock. So here's my rough cut. If I can get it the right way around. I'm going to have to put top and bottom on it so I know where I'm going. That's this way. Right. So next I'm going to drill out the 4 holes. 1, 2. Drill that out, and then we're going to smooth up and round off these edges so it doesn't cut into the tissue. Okay, back from the workshop, and got the 4 holes drilled. The 5mm, 6mm, and look at that. 1, 2, 3 and 4 all lined up. So now I'm just going to take off these 90-degree corners so it doesn't cut anything. Now just got to file those little last bits off like this one. And then we'll finish off with a bit of sandpaper. So it's a little bit Heath Robinson how I work. I don't have a nice big garage and a nice fancy workshop, so I make do with old files and old hacksaws converted with a pad saw blade, but we get in there my way. Wrong side. Nice and round. Nice and round. We're just going to do the rest a little bit here and there. Now I've got a bit of a 120 sandpaper that we're going to just smooth around the edges, make it look really professional, said he. So if you're interested in changing an old Givi bag that had straps on or magnets, and you want to convert it to a Tanklock system, I'm going to leave below the links where I got the ABS from. I shall leave you the 3 parts. Oh dear me. 2 parts in there and this part. So I'll leave all the links down there for you guys. It took me a long while to find out which ones to get, so that will save you a lot of time. As I said once before in one of my other videos, a blind man on a galloping horse would love to see it. I wouldn't call it laser cut, but it's under the tank bag. Nobody's going to see it, and I know it's going to work. So then, here we go, fellas. It's not like that, is it? What a bimbo. I'm blonde, well I'm grey now, but I was blonde, and there you go. So that's just perfect. It's going to give a nice rigid, it's going to keep the fabric away from this part. This is the piece that I didn't want a fabric coming on there and I couldn't open it. So let's have a look. We see how that fits in there now. And that's got to go up there as high as I can get it, so that the bag comes away from the handlebars. There we go. As I said earlier on in the video, I'm leaving these on just to put a security strap around the header. So that's that bit done. Next, well, I haven't got them here. I'm going to have to go down to the ironmongers and get some little 6mm, I think it was 6mm, 5mm, I think, to go through this, to get through this hole. To get through these holes, it's 5mm. Okay, so I've got to go down the ironmongers and get some small nut and bolts. This side in the Givi, it's cut out the shape of a nut, so that it'll hold it. So when I've got the nuts and washers and things, I shall come back and we'll continue the video. Until then, guys, have a cup of tea or a beer, and I'll see you later. Bye. So here we are, fellas, and I haven't got the tank lock on there yet, the fixation part, but we can imagine This will clip onto it, clip there. This piece will be, of course, fixed to the bag. And what we need is to fix into the bag as close to the front as possible. If we fix to the back or in the centre, it's going to hinder the handlebar movement. So I need to get it back as far as I can. So that's the next job. I've got to calculate that and get it moved back as far as we can so it doesn't mess up with the steering. To pierce the holes into this fabric, I'm going to use a flamethrower, a hot nail, and pop them through like that, holding it of course with a pair of pliers. So make sure the nail's nice and hot, and should be able to do 2 or 3. Not be able to do all 4 on the first heat up. Oh, that's hot. I'll turn off the flamethrower. Whoa! Burn my legs. So let's burn into this first hole. So easy. And now I want to make sure the holes line up. The second one is going to be here. Let's have a look. Check those are good. They're good. Next one is here. I'm going to try and mark them. No, need to get a bit more flame on there. So let's get the old it's not hot enough to go through the fabric, but it's hot enough to burn my fingers still. Turn that baby off. Get over there, you. You are going to go just there. Where's my plate to make sure they're all lining up? 1, 2, 3. Yes. There we go, fellas. So there's a nice little burnt hole in there for that nut. Another 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hopefully these will all line up. If they don't, I'm in trouble. Looks pretty good. So let's do the next job. Now this is the size bolt I've got. It's a 4mm diameter, including the nut, which fits perfectly into the Givi Tanklock. So the shortest I could get was 30mm. I'm going to have to cut that probably in half almost. So I'm going to push them through now, see how it all lines up. And of course some washers to go inside the bag. So we'll put those in as well so the head doesn't pull through. And when I'm happy, I'm going to put some of this multi-purpose quick contact glue to sort of hold it all in place, because we don't want to just trust these 4 little holes. Well, I've got the 4 nuts pushed through from the underside. It's all lined up nicely. I'm very happy with that result. Now I'm going to have to reduce the size of these bolts. They're much too long. That nut's got to go down and sit inside there. So I've got to go and reduce them. And then I'm going to put some contact glue on the back of the plastic and put it all back together again. So let's go and do that. As you can see, I've cut down these long bolts. These were 30mm long, obviously far too long, so I took about a centimetre off them. They were 3 centimetres long. I took a centimetre off, and I've left enough to put a lock nut on the top, and I shall put super glue there so they don't come undone again. And next thing we're going to do now is to line this base plate up with the 4 holes. Going to use a bit of Patex multi glue that should hold it all in place. Leave it overnight and then fix the tank lock to the base plate, and then tomorrow we will fit this system to the top of the tank. 24 hours later, my plate is glued on. A bit messy, I'm not the best gluer, we can say, but I put it in a clamp and left it for overnight until this evening. And now we're going to take off these nuts and we're going to pop this baby on, and then my tank bag is just about finished. If you remember at the beginning of the video, when I cut my plate, there was a bit left over, and I've used it on the inside to reinforce the screws on the fabric. I was a bit concerned with just the size of the washer on the fabric, it might tear, so it's like giving it the big supporting plate at the back. Now, makes me feel more confident. That I will cover with a piece of sponge and plastic that was removed from this side. It used to be here like this, so I'm going to use that on the inside just to cover up that, and so that these nuts and screw heads don't ruin anything that I'm going to put in the bag. So okay then, let's get these off and fit that on. There we go, she's all nicely screwed in. Put on some lock nuts, and let's go over to the bike now and fit this piece. There's 2 pieces, this one and this one, so we're going to go and fit those on now. Over to the bike. Right, so this is the Givi part that fits onto the tank here. They supply 3 new Allen bolts to go in. We're going to take 3 out and replace it. Some spacers. So then this is the collar that fits down, holds everything in place. This is the locking plate. So we take out 1, 2, 3 screws, put it all back together, and then we'll see if the bag fits properly as it should. Well, there we are. We've fitted the tank plate and its securing ring. That's all done. Got the little spacers under there just so it lifted it up a little bit. And now we're going to see if the bag fits. This is the crunch piece, so we just put it on there like this. Probably use my hand just to give it a... Oh, it's clicked on as quick as that. There we are, fellas. That's one Givi homemade tank bag conversion kit, whatever you want to call it. And we can see I can get my hand to it. Nothing touches the fuel tank. The nuts are well away. It's well clear of the tank. Well happy with that. Get it loaded up. I've taken out the rigid side. That's why it looks a bit sick at the moment. But get that side put in and she'll look as good as new. Well, thanks for watching this how-to video on how to convert a strap magnet Givi tank bag into a tank lock system. If you haven't already, I suggest you subscribe to my channel. hit that like bell, and you'll get all the latest videos as they come up on the channel. Thanks for watching, and ride safe, eh? Catch you soon.